you know that you could be damaging your liver swallowing multiple multivitamins daily? Did you also know that the color of your stool, yes, your feces, can tell of how healthy your liver is? Well, if you'd like to know more, call everyone there to you to come close and share with those far away as I take you on this intriguing episode in continuation and conclusion of the liver edition I started last week. On that note, I say welcome to Talking Health, your authoritative health program. Thanks for joining me. Without much ado, let's take off where we left off with Dr. Adaora. Now, Dr. Adaora, let's talk about lifestyle, issues. What kind of lifestyle do you think will make the liver healthy?
So lifestyle, number one, diet. Making sure that you're eating foods that protect your liver, right? Number two, taking lots and lots of water. As in, we cannot even, if we sit down to start listing out all the benefits of water, the list is exhaustive. Like, we will never exhaust that list. So the benefits of water are countless. So
fella say water.
You don't get any me at all. So take lots and lots of water. At least 3 liters of water recommended every day. Next is you want to make sure that you're exercising regularly, right? You're within the recommended BMI, right? So you're exercising regularly and adequately. Lastly is you want to practice safe sexual practices so that you avoid things like, remember we talked about hepatitis A, B, and C, which are viral origin and sexually transmitted. So you want to make sure that your safe sexual practices. You also want to make sure that whatever you are doing, right, in terms of your food hygiene, that you practice good food hygiene. You're making sure that you're avoiding any infections, right, avoid contacting infections, avoid sharing needles or sharp objects together, right, so that you don't contact things like hepatitis B or C, right? You also want to make sure that you reduce or completely stop unnecessary use of supplements and your agbo jedi, right? You want to avoid such, right? Because those consuming all of that, right, can actually damage your liver. So you want to make sure that you are free from all of those supplements. I see some people, only them, they have like 10 supplements that they are taking. They're taking vitamin A, they're taking vitamin C, they're taking vitamin D, they're taking calcium, they're taking magnesium, they're taking... Oh my God, and I'm like, if you're taking all of this, what's your body still producing, right? That is what your liver is supposed to do. So stop the over-consumption of supplements, right? You want to make sure you stop the over-consumption of supplements. And then generally, I would say, of course, make sure that whatever you do a regular health checkup. So from time to time, at least once a year, and I always tell my patients, it's an abomination. My patients, they always like to brag. When they see you for the first time, they're like, oh, doctor, I've never been to the hospital in the last 5 years. No, doctor, me, 6 years. In fact, me and hospital, I don't even know hospitals in Lagos. I said, well, now that you have come, you see now, it's not a problem that has brought you here. So before that thing becomes a problem, right, regularly, at least once a year, do a health checkup, right? As part of your health checkup, some of the tests that you do will be hepatitis B and hepatitis C, as well as your liver function test to actually know the functioning of your liver. So if you do a health checkup at least once a year, we'll be able to pick up problems before they become, a full-blown disease, and we'll be able to manage them effectively.
Okay, so that takes me to my next question, actually. Right. So what are the progression to liver damage? I mean, it doesn't just come, boom, overnight. So what are those stages?
Okay, so I would say there are about 4 stages, right? So the first one is your liver will start with inflammation, right? So inflammation is swelling, simply put, right? So inflammation, so your liver starts swelling, then you start seeing the person is bloated, has jaundice, right? Feeling nauseated, vomiting, probably barely passing stool, or if the person is passing stool, the stool is looking very black, dark colored, right? So
does that not depend on what one eats? If I eat plenty of vegetable or ewedu?
So even if you eat plenty of vegetable and ewedu, the type of blackness of the stool, so typically without bile, remember I talked about bile, right? And the bile, I said, is what is responsible for that pale yellowish.
Absolutely, yes.
So without that bile, your stool naturally, every human being's stool is actually very black. Like when I say black, like dudu oshun type of black, right? So it's actually that bile that gives it that coloration, right? That actually helps you to appreciate that your liver is actually functioning well, right? So in the case of eating ewedu, ugu, water leaf, right? Green leafy, right? The kind of darkness you would see there is not dudu oshun kind of darkness, right? And then the good thing about it is that you even see some strands of the vegetables in your, which tells you that your liver is actually working well.
Praise the Lord.
Right? So, of course, the first stage, the first stage is inflammation. The second stage is that your liver can go from inflammation to what we call liver cirrhosis, right? So prolonged, repeated, inflammation can cause what we call cirrhosis. The third stage can now lead to what we call liver disease, right? And this liver disease can come in various forms. And of course, the last stage being end stage liver cancer.
What diagnostic tests do we have available to detect whether a liver is functioning well or whether it has a disease?
Okay, so the diagnostic tests are the same sort of tests, like in terms of the categories, they are the same set of tests you would do for any other organ that you were testing for.
Okay.
So we majorly do 3 types of tests for any organ.
Okay.
So the first is usually blood tests, right? Blood or sample tests. And these blood tests can be things like your liver function tests, right? So your liver function test will tell you things like your alpha fetoproteins, your ASTs, your AFPs, right? Your GGT, that's your glutamate, right? It will also tell you things like your protein, your albumin ratio in your liver, right? You also want to check things like your hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, right? To check if there's any infection. So all of that you would see with your liver. You can also do stool samples. So you can also do stool tests, right? To actually assess your stool macroscopy and microscopy, right? To actually test, look at your stool and assess if your liver is functioning well. Then the second category of tests are your imaging, right? So your imaging will comprise things like simple tests like your ultrasound, to do a liver ultrasound, right? Or you can do a liver CT scan or a liver MRI, right? And then, of course, the last type of test that you want to do will be a biopsy. So going into the liver and taking a small cut and then analyzing it under a microscope to do a histology.
When you say a small cut,
yeah, so
does that mean opening somebody up, or?
Yes, that means opening.
That's surgery.
Yes, that's surgical. So we can either do it by going in through the mouth, or we can do it, by making an incision. Yeah.
So enlighten us of available treatment options.
So in terms of the available treatment options, of course, the first thing there are medications, right? So medications that can help with. So for instance, like with hepatitis B, hepatitis C, there are medications that you can actually take to supplement, those. Surgically, there are procedures that we can do. So surgically, we can do a liver transplant. So we can either transplant a lobe or a section of the liver. Now, it's also important to note, and I think it's something I've forgotten all through this discussion, is that the liver is the only organ in the body that regenerates.
It does.
So if you cut a section of your liver, there's a high tendency that it will regenerate over time. And that's why the good thing about, unlike other organs, that when you take it out, you have to take out the entire organ. The liver, when we do some liver surgeries, we take out certain lobes. So the liver has about 12 lobes, and then you can take out certain lobes of the liver, and those lobes will regenerate over time.
Wow.
And then, of course, the last thing will be some more minimally invasive surgery that involves you taking out things like maybe your bile duct, right? Or removing some arteries or vessels around the liver.
Quite interesting. So what are the differences? I want to know. And I'm sure my viewers also want to know. What are the differences between acute and chronic liver diseases? And how are they managed effectively?
So acute liver diseases are majorly caused by infections, so viral infections. So acute will be things like your hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C. The short term, just as I said prior, that anything viral, right, would only stay for that period of time, and your body would actually flush it out, right? Your body actually has a natural response to actually take care of it. So viral, they are very short term, right? They are shorter than maybe 1 year, right?
Okay.
And so your body would actually, work towards it. So, and with viral, you can take certain medications to actually help. However, chronic liver conditions are caused by either your environment, your lifestyle, or your food choices.
I see.
So environments like places where you're exposed to things like pesticides, heavy chemicals. So factory workers that are exposed to these very heavy chemicals. So for instance, I'm not sure I can remember the causative agent, but the causative agent that is in what they call this agent, snipers. I think it's DD4 or something like that. I don't know, I can't recall the full name, right? But these are harmful to your liver. So inhaling all of that, right, is actually harmful to the liver. So inhaling all of these medications and toxins, right, or chemicals in the environment, then the types of food that you consume, what do you eat, what do you drink? If you're the type that is taking 100 bottles of cashew nuts or 100 bottles of groundnuts a day, of course, you are looking for trouble.
Chai.
So yes, because some people will say, oh, I take groundnuts, I don't take peanuts. Oh, I take peanuts, I don't take groundnuts. They're in the same WhatsApp group. So your peanuts are bad for your liver. Then, of course, lastly would be around even your lifestyle. You're the type that doesn't like to take water. Since more from morning till night, because you say you don't want to go to the toilet to wee-wee, you choose not to take water. So your body doesn't actually have that cleansing agent that will help your liver in functioning of your body.
Those ones, anyway.
Yes.
We'll come back right after this break. Don't you go away.
I am the life, the pure many wish they were. I define what premium means to most and still defining. Every royalty asks of me. Dignitaries drink me with no question. I am not loud, so you won't find me in traffic. Seated at momentous ceremonies, luxurious events, and premium parties only. I am exclusive. With an unmissable presence in over 40 countries, I am global. I am the life of every occasion and gathering. I am Nestle Pure Life. Without any introduction, I am the life of the party.
Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. Now, Dr. Adaora, how does liver health impact the overall longevity of a human being?
So typically, just as we said earlier, in terms of the functions of the liver, if you don't have a good functioning liver, there's a high probability that, just like we say, smokers are liable to die young. People with bad livers are liable to die younger. So, by virtue of that, if you don't have a good functioning liver, there's a high tendency for toxins and waste products to build up in your body. You end up coming to the hospital multiple times because you will fall sick more often than usual, right? Then, of course, you would have so many other metabolic issues, metabolic problems that can arise. So there's a problem with metabolism. There's a problem with your body trying to excrete waste products. There's your problem with your body even trying to process or digest or synthesize those essential acids, amino acids and proteins, right? So there's just going to be that overall poor quality of life, which can now go from, the various stages, from inflammation to fibrosis to cirrhosis and then to end of life.
Wow, mind-blowing. What advice would you give our viewers, to ensure, to help them maintain optimal liver health?
Number one, visit your doctor. Your doctor should be your best friend. Visit your doctor at least once a year. Do a health checkup. Check your liver function, do your liver function test. Check your viral status, check if you have hepatitis A, B, C, right? Visit your doctor once a year. Number two, you and water should be best friends.
Okay.
Your choice of drink should always be water. If they ask you, ma, sir, what do you want to drink? Tell them water.
So many people drink energy drink.
Tell them water. And energy drinks are actually bad for your liver. Energy drinks are also one of the things that are bad for your liver.
Did you hear that, viewers?
So please, your choice of drink should always be your water. I cannot overemphasize this enough. And I think our Proco doctor even had a whole series on that. Love your water. Your choice of drink should be your water. Number 3, make sure that you are regularly exercising at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week of regular exercise, right? Take a stairs. I mean, these stairs, take it from time to time. Go up, down. It may be tiresome. Yes, it's always tiresome for all of us. But try it and your liver will thank you for it. Number 4, of course, make sure that everything you are consuming, right, is properly cooked and properly cleaned. You know the source of where everything is coming from. So you're not eating roadside food, that has been made just beside the gutter. That same gutter is where people defecate and have defecated, all of the viral hepatitis, and then they put it into your food and then you are consuming it. So be sure of where you're eating, right? Make sure they are practicing good food hygiene. And of course, you yourself, make sure you're eating foods that are protective to your liver, right? We said those earlier, right? Your fruits, your vegetables, your fatty omega-3 acids, right? Your fish, salmon, egg, all those of you that love, catfish, fish and chips, take your fish. Take your fish because they are great, rich sources of omega-3. Then good healthy nuts, as we said, like your almonds, like your bambara nuts, your chai seed, your flax seed. Make sure you incorporate them. For many of us, we take custard. You can put your chai seed or your flax seed in them. You take oats. You can put
in my oats.
You can put it in your oats too. So yes, make sure you're taking everything healthy. And lastly, will be make sure that you are practicing safe sexual practice. So safe sexual practice always. Use protection where necessary. No commingling or mismingling or whatever the word it is. Keep to one partner always, and regularly, of course, screen yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Adara, for coming on the show today. I am convinced, as usual, that whenever I call on you, you will oblige us. Out of your very busy schedule, we're not taking that for granted.
Thank you
so much. I'm convinced you love life. And I mean, you won't trade your good health for a careless lifestyle. So while you make water your priority drink, ensure regular exercises and periodic health checkup. Don't forget to subscribe to Conga TV, like and share. That's how I wrap up today's edition. Until I come your way again, think health matters. Think talking health with Bumi. Bye for now.